Hello everyone, this is Steven Yanti again, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I want to encourage you to like, to subscribe, and to make your comments, share the video to every of your contacts and friends. If you've enjoyed my previous videos, I want you to do likewise. I want to thank everyone for watching my videos. I want to appreciate you for all you do. It means a lot to me when you subscribe to my channel and when you share these informations to your friends. Kudos to you. Now, last week I talked about depression, part one, where I talked about the necessity of having mental health education, and I talked about the killer disease, depression. Today, I want to continue and conclude on the subject matter of depression. I want to give an insight what the Bible has to say about depression. Let's check out the book of Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3. It says, "To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness." I want you to notice something there. It says, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. The first thing about depression that the Bible gives us is that it is a spirit. Last week we talked about the fact that depression can be caused by chemicals in the body, by the environment, by circumstances. But then, that is psychology. That's science. Science can only determine what is in your body, and the highest it can go, the farthest it can go, is to determine what is wrong with you emotionally or mentally, but not your spirit. Now, most issues that happen to us emanate first from the spirit. Now, so if your spirit is affected, then your mental part will be affected, and definitely your body will be affected. Now, the Bible is telling us the origin of depression, and it's telling you it is not a genetic problem, it is not a psychological problem, it is not because of an incident that caused it. The source of depression is a spirit. Wow. This should make you think. In the verse above, we can discover few things in relation to depression. Firstly, we also understand and notice that depression is called the spirit of heaviness. That means depression in regards to scripture is not just some genetic or psychological imbalance, but it is an evil spirit. That's what I've established. The second is it is named heaviness. You see, it is heaviness that makes you feel down. It is heaviness that makes you feel cast away. It is heaviness that makes you see yourself as worthless. It is heaviness that gives you the imagination on how to end your life. So many people have called me. I run this radio broadcast across the country now, and so many people have called me to share with me how depression have probably inspired them. They sleep and wake up every day with plans on how to end their life. The economy is frustrating, the society is going bad as it may be, everything is terrible, and if we are not careful, we will fall into this snare of the enemy, which is depression. Depression is a killer, my friends, and I want you to know that it is first spiritual before it is psychological or mental. Now, I also want you to realize, lastly, from this verse, we see the Lord wanting to give you the garment of praise to take away moodiness. The Amplified Version of the Bible puts it this way: the garment expressive, now notice, the garment expressive of praise instead of a heavy, burdened, and failing spirit. The garment expressive, notice that word, the garment expressive of praise. So the spirit of heaviness doesn't want you to be free, to be free to express joy, to be free to count your blessings and name them one after the other. It doesn't. It wants you now. The spirit of heaviness wants you reserved. It wants you looking anemic, looking burdened, looking with like you are the only one with the whole problem in the whole world. You get what I'm saying? He wants you to be a servant to worry. He wants you to be discouraged. It wants you to force yourself into personal loneliness, which is not ought to be. It is not ought to be, but this is what the spirit of heaviness wants to do to you. The enemy is out there. Chase it before it chases you. Kill it before it kills you. Depression must not take hold of you. You must rise up from that snare. You must rise up from that wood and attack depression at once. You can look at, let's check out Psalm chapter 72, verse 25. Psalm 72, verse 25. Look at what it says. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it stoop, but a good word maketh it glad. Heaviness in the heart of man maketh it go down. I hope you are seeing me. Makes it go down. Like you're discouraged, you're giving up, you're fed up of the situation. But the good word maketh it glad, makes you excited, makes you positive, makes you hopeful. One of the things the spirit of depression aims is your hope. I want you to notice that. One of the things the spirit of depression aims at to destroy is your hope. In as much as the spirit of depression can get your hope, he has gotten your life. Because hope is a positive expectation for something good. It is hope that makes you get up in the morning, take your bath, brush your teeth. When you are hopeless, you will lie on the bed and you're down, discouraged, and you're wasted. I remember somebody called me one time and said he was so hopeless that for a week he was masturbating all through. He didn't go out of the house. He locked himself inside his one-room apartment and he masturbated every day, every time. He will eat and masturbate and sleep. He will eat, masturbate and sleep. He will eat, masturbate and sleep. Is that relating to you? Do you know anybody who has that situation? I want you to reach out to me. I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you to message me. I want you to message and comment. To stoop from the dictionary means A. Debase oneself morally, act in an undignified, unworthy or dishonourable way. B. To degrade. C. To descend from rank or dignity. To condescend. This is the aim of the enemy. It is to disgrace you. It is to degrade you. It is to make you undignified, to make you lose quality, to make you lose respect, to make you lose love. And one of the ways that happens is by he attacks your hope by making you stoop. The spirit of depression is not aiming just to make you feel sad and rest at home. The spirit of depression has a more deeper and sinister motive, and it is to make you stoop, to make you look undignified, to make you look useless, to make you look stupid, to make you look wasted in front of very credible people. From the definition, we can all see that the agenda of the evil spirits of heaviness is to make people pity you who shouldn't. Do you like to be pitied? Some people just like to be pitied. So you look at their face every time. Why are you sad? Do I look sad? But your face like this now is my normal face. Wow. I didn't know your mother gave birth to you with this kind of face. But it's not an emoji face. You see. But the reason why it's like that is because the spirit of depression has taken a hold of your mind and is making you believe that by looking like this, looking like this, looking like this, that people would help you. But people don't really help people who look that sad. Understand? People avoid people who look sad. I don't want to marry a woman who I will be counseling every day at when I'm not a psychiatrist. You see, but this is the situation we have in the country now. And this is what depression wants to make you believe. It wants to make you believe that by looking sad, by looking non-dignified, by looking weak, by looking some way, you will get the attention and the favor of people. But my friends, I'm sorry to shock you. It doesn't work that way. If I've shocked you enough, I want you to subscribe to my channel once again. Now, it says, from the definition, we can all see that the agenda of the evil spirit of heaviness is to make people pity you who shouldn't be, is to make you act below your dignity as a child of God, from kingship to servanthood, from being a priest of God to one who acts like an agent. The spirit of heaviness wants you to begin acting dishonorably in front of those who should see you as a candle set on a hill which should not be hidden. You can see that fact. You can see that when somebody has taken you up like this and then you're putting yourself down through the spirit of heaviness want to rubbish you. The spirit of heaviness want to debase you. The spirit of heaviness want to scatter every form of respect, every form of dignity you have built for the years. And I want to tell you, I wouldn't want you or I wouldn't advise you to accept it. I know of a lady. One day she came to me in the prayer line. She said she wanted me to pray for her. I said, for what? She said she needed help, that nobody has refused to help her. She's finalizing her school and she needed school fees. And for some time, for a long time now, she has been fending for herself. Nobody supports her. And now she's at her end. She needs help. But nobody seems to help her. People promises her, but they don't seem to do anything. So I said, okay, let me pray with you. As I prayed with her, the Lord told me, tell her to start smiling. Wow. Tell her to not look sad, to not look tired, to not look weak, to not look like all the whole world problem is on her, to look excited, to look hopeful, to look powerful. I told her to do that. And within a month, she came back to see me. I said, Pastor, it worked. I said, what do you mean it worked? He said, everybody has helped me. Everybody is trying to help me. Everybody is now liking me. I said, wow, that's how easy it is. So I got an idea that it seems to me that people avoid people who look sad, who look tired, who look weak, who look anemic, who look sluggish. People avoid them because nobody likes that kind of character or nature around them. I want to ask you, are you sick? If you are not sick, then I want to encourage you to not allow the spirit of depression take a hold of you. Now, the Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 13, it says, a merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is broken. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of the heart the spirit is broken. So when you are excited, when you are happy, better things are ahead of you. Let me give you a secret. Demons are attracted to sad, depressed people. Angels are always attracted to very lively and excited people because in the presence of God there is fullness of joy. So when you are joyful, when you are happy, when you are excited, be sure, rest assured, no matter whatever bad comes your way, you will come out dancing and happy because God is always going to be there in with you in the midst of your trial. So as I round up, I want to encourage you. When you decide to be happy, irrespective of the happenings around you, I believe you would always attract favor. You will always attract angels. You will always attract great things in your life. So I want to encourage you with these scriptures as I wrap up again on my final subject on depression part 2. A calm and undisturbed mind and heart are the life and health of the body. But envy, jealousy, and wrath are like rottenness of the bone. He said, I repeat again, a calm and undisturbed mind and heart are the life and health of the body. But envy, jealousy, and wrath are like a rottenness. So when you are happy, when you are excited, when you are joyful, it affects your health. Do you know that people who are happy are live more much more better and healthier lives and accomplish more than people who are sad, depressed, and confused, discouraged? Are you aware? So which do you choose? Do you want to be an achiever or you want to be a failure? Do you want to live a successful life or you want to be wasted? It's your choice. And that choice is whether you accept, allow the spirit of depression to take a hold of you or not. I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I also want to encourage you to like my teachings, share my video with your friends and family. I also want to encourage you please to get my book titled Pinky and the Brain, The Art of Squishing. I repeat again, Pinky and the Brain, The Art of Squishing. Thank you very much for everything you do. Thank you for all the good things you've done watching my video, subscribing to my channel, and don't forget this is a book. You can request for it. It's 1.5, but I'll give you for 1,000 naira if you send me a text, send me a chat on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much.